Hi, I'm Shawn's daughter, Ashley. First, I'd like to thank all of you who have extended loves and support to our family during this terrible time. My dad would be honored to know how well you all have been taking care of us. So dumb. It really means so much. I go all the time not crying now. Huh? That's good. It really means so much to have you here today. All of you in attendance confirm what we already knew to be true, that my dad's life had a far-reaching, lasting impact. The intentionality by which he lived, the love, laughs, and wisdom he shared has left his mark on this world. My dad was a lover of the gym, golf, real estate, the stock market, my grandma's cooking, and most importantly, his family and friends. Oh, and big bear hugs and practical jokes. He was a man of great passion and many passions, and whenever he had a new one, he made sure you knew about it. We've been joking that he missed his calling as an Instagram influencer. Because when he found something he liked, he didn't just like it, he loved it, and he got others to love it too. From a new food item, to a hot stock, to weed killer, to movies, to shrubs or trees, it didn't really matter what it was, he could get excited for just about anything. I'm sure many of you have eaten at restaurants, made purchases, or invested in stocks, hopefully good ones, due to his recommendation. Because he wouldn't just tell you once, he would tell you, and then he would follow up until you tried it. I think I heard Luke say the other day that he has multiple bottles of my dad's favorite hot sauce because he would not stop raving about it. Every single time he came to my house, I'd hear, "Ash, you know what would look great lining your fence?" And I'd always say, "Let me guess, silver sheen?" And he'd just smile. Well, this spring, you can bet we're going to be lining our yard with silver sheen. My parents had me at just 18 years old. They are just kids navigating how to raise a kid with the incredible support of our great family. But even as a little girl, I remember recognizing that my dad was someone very special. And not just special, but cool. My dad was a standout athlete, quarterback of the football team. He had the hottest car in town. Girls wanted to date him, and guys wanted to be him. He was always somehow the coolest guy in every room. At least that's how I always saw him. Not only was he cool, one of the things I most admired was how respected he was from all of his circles of influence. I think because he made choices and lived a life that you couldn't help but respect and admire. He also had a way of always leaving people better than he found them, and that's what he's done with all of us. He's left us better than he found us. He's helped us take risks. He's helped us improve our relationships. He's helped people get sober. He's helped people find new passions and jobs. He's helped people to not sweat the small stuff. And ultimately, he's helped us to appreciate and live better lives, and he modeled it for us in the way that he lived his. My dad also had this uncanny ability to connect with people. It didn't matter what generation you were from, what race, background, gender they were, or interests they had, he truly could befriend just about anyone, which is proven here today. We have people from the gym, we have people from work, we have people from the grocery store. I mean, he made friends no matter where he went. And today may be the main memorial where we are all gathering, but multiple have already taken place. People have been messaging us about how they've been congregating to reminisce and grieve about my dad's passing. There's a group of older gentlemen who we golfed with down in Palm Desert. They gathered together and hosted their own memorial. As did his work, where over 100 people were in attendance. As did his high school and college friends. I can say I've heard more grown men weeping over my dad passing than I've heard in my life. It just shows the rock and important person he was in so many people's lives. Some of the things I've heard people say over the past couple weeks are, at family gatherings, I don't have a memory of him sitting down. He was constantly serving us, setting up chairs, making sure everyone around him was well taken care of. And he was like a brother to me. He always provided so much advice and guidance. I don't know what I'm going to do without him. People have also said he would spend the first 9 holes talking about you, Ash, and the second 9 talking about his grandbabies and the rest of the family. That's just who he was. He was so, so proud of his family and friends, and we were his #1 joy and priority. When people pass, there can often be pain over not saying or hearing I love you enough, but not with him. He never missed an opportunity to share his love and affirmation and encouragement. I would often receive texts from him that read along the lines of, I love you, Ash, and you make me so proud to be your dad. I enjoy watching you be the wonderful mama that you are. He made sure that I not only knew how proud he was of me, but that everyone knew how proud he was of me. When I'd tell him things, he'd say, oh, Ash, say it one more time, so he could jot it down to make sure not to miss a detail. He didn't just brag about me, he bragged about his grandbabies and the rest of the family and friends too. You can bet I've heard all about what your kids are up to, what jobs you've gotten, and about if you've gotten into the stock market or not. I've often wondered how he could brag about us so often and not come across like a jerk. But I think it was just such pure and authentic pride that it was impossible to mistake for arrogance. He just truly, truly, truly loved his family and friends and wanted the world to know. He was never ashamed to show his love either. This is a story he loved to tell. When I was about 12 years old, we were at the movies and we were walking and holding hands, and someone walked by us and yelled, "Pervert!" He was so proud. He was like, Ash, I think we have to stop holding hands now. People are going to think I'm robbing the cradle. But he never let that stop him. Most men are embarrassed to express love, but not him. He could be at work, on the golf course with the guys, at the gym, and he never held back from saying I love you or giving a hug or a kiss to express his love. One of the most powerful things I just can't get past when I think of my dad is I don't have a single bad memory with him. And from the sound of it, it sounds like that seems to be the case for many of you as well. It isn't that bad things never happened. Lord knows our family has faced our share of trials and tragedies. So it wasn't that bad things never happened. It was how he handled them when they did. He was always quick to apologize and quick to forgive. I remember one time I was being sassy on the phone, and I remember him calling me later that day, and we were chatting, and with a chuckle he said, "Oh, and I forgive you for being short earlier." We both laughed, and I apologized, and we talked it out and then moved on. He was always so, so gracious. He never let anything fester, be slipped under the rug, or go unaddressed. He was the most drama-free person I had ever known, which was a good thing considering he was the only guy in our sea of Loucks women, or Loucks ladies. I think that's how he always stayed so level-headed. He stayed focused on what mattered and never gave anything more attention or energy than it deserved. From the outside, life for my dad probably looked perfect and easy, but we all know there's no such thing. He had a child young, he lost his dad when he was young, and more recently lost his sister, and I'm sure there's a whole list of other things that I could mention. I say that to say, regardless of what life threw at him, he never allowed it to defeat him. He never allowed it to get him off track. He operated from such a deep level of determination to live a good life, and he always made a conscious decision to choose joy. He's the person so many turn to for advice and guidance. He was the person I turned to for advice and guidance. If Mike and I ever wanted to make a big purchase, or if I had a question about business or parenting, or I just wanted to talk through how I was feeling, he was the one I always called. But the past few years, something interesting happened. He started calling me for advice, or just to run ideas past me. That's when I knew I had arrived in life. I had made it. The fact that such a wise man would call me, That's one of the ways I know I and so many of you are going to be okay. We carry all the strength and wisdom he's imparted to us to help get us through and navigate life's challenges and life without him. I remember growing up, I'd often overhear him doting about me on the phone, or to anyone who would listen, telling them about who I was as a person and about my latest achievements. And I remember I would just sit there and listen and eavesdrop on his conversations. And it was some of those moments that I believe really shaped my confidence, and just knowing that there was someone who was just over the moon for me and who thought I could do anything. It helped me believe that I really could do anything. People have always commented on what an amazing family we have, and it's true, and we still do, even though one of the most amazing parts of it are gone. And although he's gone far too soon, I feel incredibly blessed to have had him as my dad as long as I did. He helped shape who I am. He taught me how to love well. He modeled how to be a great parent, and he taught me many life lessons, like own a nice house before you own a nice car. Diversify, diversify, diversify. Or how important sports are to help build a girl's confidence and competitive side. He taught me to work hard, but not so hard that I forget to enjoy the fruits of my labor. But ultimately, he taught me, if there's something about your life that you don't like, change. There are things out of our control, for example, us having to be here today. But it's how we choose to live in spite of those situations. After my dad's first stroke, when he got home, you know the first thing he did? He took Patty to the exact spot where it happened, and he sat her down and said, "Let's make a new memory here." He wasn't going to let the negative memory be the lasting memory. 10 days prior to my dad's stroke, he had had a minor one. The doctors basically told us that it was just bad luck. It was a fluke, that he was healthy as a horse, and assured us it wouldn't happen again. He and I got to sit and talk a while we waited for at the hospital. We talked about life and the future, and he just kept saying how lucky and thankful he felt. He said while he was riding in the ambulance, he was watching the trees go by, and he just kept thinking, this can't be it. I have so much to live for. He said, I love my dad and sister, but I'm not ready to see them yet. He said, Ash, I don't need any sort of wake-up call to love life. He said, I already love life so much and appreciate it each day. He kept saying how it wasn't his time. He had recently retired and was looking forward to the years ahead to love on his grandbabies and spend a lot of time in our cabin in Tahoe we had both been working so hard to buy someday. It was all true. He truly did love life and appreciate each day. And he was looking forward to doing a lot of the things that he loved most with the people he loved most. One of the many things that absolutely breaks my heart with his passing is that my dad and my girls are robbed of the opportunity to be in each other's lives as they grow up. My great-grandpa and I were the best of friends growing up. We'd talk every morning on my drive to high school. We'd talk about life and our latest business ideas we were going to try. And he was so beyond excited to develop that same relationship with his granddaughters. But now, they have to learn about him through photos and videos. And yes, we will do everything in our power to keep his memory alive for them, but nothing will ever be able to accurately convey the way it felt when he would just light up when he saw them. Nothing will be able to accurately convey the pride he felt in them. But we sure are going to try, and you can bet we'll live out the dream of buying that cabin in Tahoe someday and taking our girls to a new state each year, as we had talked about too. To Bonnie and Mario, you two are some of the most cherished people in my dad's life. I can't thank you enough for the way you welcomed him and our entire family into yours, as if we had been part of it all along. Bonnie, my dad found so much joy in pranking you over the years. From the sink incident to the clapper, I think those were some of his most favorite stories to tell. He admired the way you loved your family and valued the way you loved him as your own son. Mario, with the passing of my dad's dad at a young age, your love helped fill the void that was in his heart for many years. He loved you so much and grew to become You grew to become one of his best friends and golfing buddies. He valued the knowledge and wisdom you would share and respected the way you led your family, a tribe of women much like his. He continually aspired to be more like you. To Patty. My dad bringing you and your family into our lives has been the greatest gift. Thank you for the way you always loved my dad. The depth of your love and adoration for one another was unlike anything I've ever witnessed, and unlike anything most people will ever experience. It was obvious how much you enjoyed each other and were truly, truly best friends. I couldn't have asked for a better person to love my dad more perfectly. I'm a better wife because of the way you loved and appreciated and encouraged my dad. And those who witnessed your love were no doubt inspired as well. You brought out the best in him and he in you. It was amazing to see the way his confidence flourished due to your love. I grieve at the fact that your love story ended far too soon. There were still so many dreams to fulfill, love to share, and memories to make. I want you to know that you're a mom in my eyes and will always be the one and only me, Maud, Presley, and Emma. We love you. To my grandma, you're a remarkable woman, and you raised one hell of a man. The sacrifices you've made and the depths of pain you've had to experience in this lifetime will never be able to fully comprehend. But I want to thank you and honor you for all the love and care you've invested into our family. You worked long days, you showed up to every single game, you made countless meals, and shared love and wisdom, and did so much to make sure we all had every possible opportunity. I know my dad appreciated all of it, as do I. You have established the most amazing legacy that now is being lived out by your great-grandbabies, and we love you and thank you very much. As we leave here today and begin navigating the painful days ahead without my dad, I encourage you to be brave. People can sometimes not know how to act around those who are grieving and can often avoid bringing up the name of the person who is lost. But let me invite you. I invite you to continue talking about my dad. I invite you to continue to share old stories and remind us of how proud he was of us. And if you see my daughters or our family, I invite you to tell them how great of a man he was and how proud he was of them. And as we move forward without my dad, I'm committing to live my life in a way that honors his and will continue to make him proud. I invite you to join me in hugging harder, laughing more often. I invite you to join in letting your kids catch you bragging about them, to affirm, enjoy, and encourage your spouse. And I invite you to not sweat the small stuff. And lastly, choose joy. Oh, and I can't forget, diversify, diversify, diversify. Thank you. Real quick, as Donna comes up, you'll see in the back we have signs, and there's golf balls with 27, which is kind of like our family number, my dad's number. It has a Chevy on there, so you're welcome to take one or multiple of those. And there's also teas that you can take, and we have a Facebook page that I think we're going to redo because the current one is weird. But we'd love it if you take it, if you have any memories with him, to share them on there. We're also going to have some video stations set up afterwards that if you wish to share a memory or a story or any message to the family, we would love it for you to go and record those so that we can keep them forever. And then, if you want to post any memories or pictures or anything on the Facebook page, we would truly, truly appreciate it. But the signs back there, they say, help yourself to Shawn's balls. Just seemed fitting, so I don't know. Welcome up Patty's sister Donna and cousin Aaron and Patty. All right, awesome. Give them a round of applause, please.